issue to me. In these difficult economic times, as Senator O'Keefe made reference to, it's more important than ever that Pennsylvanians with disabilities have a voice in their state government. I appreciate the economic realities we face right now. I also understand that we need to make every effort to spend taxpayer dollars wisely. I do not, however, agree that we can balance the state budget on the backs of people with disabilities. As Senator O'Keefe articulated, the current budget proposal asks community mental retardation services to endure a $17 million reduction in next year's budget. This is simply not going to work, and it certainly will not empower our caregivers across Pennsylvania to take care of their family members who have an intellectual disability or any kind of disability for that matter. I happen to believe the government's not doing enough as it is to help Pennsylvanians with disabilities. Sometimes this conviction has put me at odds with members of my own party, but it's my firmest belief that government has a responsibility to help those members of our community who cannot help themselves. These difficult times mean that our lawmakers must take a careful look at where our limited resources are being spent to ensure that they're being used wisely and with the greatest benefit to our community. I have a real hard time with it when state government tells these Pennsylvanians with disabilities, just sit tight on the waiting list and we'll get to you. While at the same time, they vote to give tax breaks to Hollywood millionaires and filmmakers who come into Pennsylvania to film TV shows and other productions. You might also be interested in knowing that while adults with disabilities are being asked to endure a cut in their funding for next year, prison inmates in Pennsylvania will continue to get free postage. I don't understand, nor will I support those kinds of priorities. Absolutely, we need to be careful how we spend the taxpayers' money. There is, however, a great deal of state's money that could be put to much better use than it is now. If we examine our spending priorities closely, I believe we can provide these families with the help they so desperately need and that they deserve. For me, this is not a Democrat or Republican issue, nor is it a liberal nor a conservative issue. For me, this is an issue of human decency, human dignity, and how we treat each other in our society. Our priorities and the choices we make as a Commonwealth, and as policymakers, and as lawmakers, define who we are. It's my hope that we can agree that our choices on how we will care for members of our community with disabilities will define the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as a compassionate place to live for people who have disabilities. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless America. Keep up the advocacy.
I want to thank Representative Murt so much for his compassion, for reaching out and helping people with disabilities. He indicated this effort is a bipartisan one. That's surely the case. Representative Barbara McIlvaine-Smith is here with us today. She is the chair of the Intellectual Disabilities Caucus, and she's offering support to both Senator O'Keefe and to Representative Murt, and they're championing this cause.